Being so good, so kind and merciful to us, how you look beyond all our faults and take care of all of our needs. We ask, Lord, that you continue to bless our town. Bless each and every citizen, oh God. Strengthen them, oh God, along the way. Help us, Lord, to do all the things that's pleasing in your sight, oh God. And Lord, and bless us, Lord, that we will continue to keep your work going, Lord, on this side until we can get home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, thank you for being here. First thing we do is citizen presentation. This is the 3 minutes. We ask that you give your name and an address so for the camera and future references, somebody ever want to come in and see exactly what you commented on and so forth and so on. First we have Barlow, is that correct? Ryan Barlow.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Commissioners, and staff. My name is Ryan Barlow. I am honored to be a new resident of Farmville. I have come before you to bring attention to the upcoming 150th anniversary gala for Farmville on January 15th. The tickets will be going on sale this Wednesday at the Chamber of Commerce. The event will be located at the newly renovated depot. The main entertainment will be provided by the Rakeem Walker Project. They are also new residents of Farmville. Myrtle Grove Catering will be providing the food and catering the event. Tickets are limited to just a few over 300. The cost is $75 per ticket. You can also purchase and reserve a table as well for the event. We look forward to celebrating Farmville's 150th anniversary with you and all of our community. Thank you.
Kevin Lee.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, and staff. My name is Kevin Lee, and we were told we were supposed to give our address. I'm 4129 John Street.
Right, thank you.
And I'm here on behalf of the Arts Council as well as chairman of the Ghost Walk Committee. I'm here to thank Farmville for its support of our first Ghost Walk. To pull this off, we had over 30 volunteers, from tour guides to actors, musicians, and dancers. Behind the scenes, we had writers, tech crew, dance instructors, directors, and planners. Almost all of these volunteers were local, and all of them pretty much lived within blocks of downtown Farmville. I have personally only lived here for about 6 months, but I know not every community could have put this type of event together and have it be as successful as it has been. The spirit of Farmville is one of community, charity, and cooperation. We'll meet this Wednesday night to start planning for next year. Our goal is to make this a yearly event. So we're so happy to go on record with a big thank you to the town of Farmville and all who live here.
Thank you, Kevin. I think Kevin and Ryan signed up on the public hearing sheet instead of the citizen sheet, so that's fine. That is fine. So that brings us down to Stephen Hardybrass. And while Stephen's making his way up, I want to give a big shout out to Greg Smith, who learns lessons very well. I'm going to write him off my taxes this year because he was calling me every day on how to get in touch with the media, and I was giving him out some very secret coded cell phone numbers. So if you want anything done in the media, see Greg Smith. He's your man. And thank you, folks, for all you've done. And you'll hear more on that before this is over. Stephen?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. It's with a heavy heart, once again, I come to you. After I have for over a year now. Once again, I'm still serving on the county-wide comprehensive transportation plan. We're discussing bike, ped, and motor vehicle issues and transportation. And with that knowledge and skills comes a responsibility to do something about this. And again, I want to bring up the issue of the denial of civil rights of people with disabilities in our county, in our state, nationwide, but especially here at home, here in Farmville. The ADA, as I've mentioned before, passed in 1990 by then President Bush, enshrines the civil rights of people with disabilities to equal access. That built upon the 1974 Rehab Act. So this is something should have been doing for years, decades. Yet we continue to make sidewalks, including this year, that deny people simple curb ramps. Every time we repave a road or alter it, we are supposed to make it accessible to everyone. This is especially poignant tomorrow when I know there are people on the south side of town that use wheelchairs that have a very difficult time crossing the railroad tracks to get to the community center to vote. Now that's an NCDOT road, and they have also ignored the civil rights of these people. But I've gone around town, I've shown you photographs, there's over 100 sidewalk violations, some poured and made this year, denying these people equal access and their rights. There's a lot better we can do in Farmville. It's a great community. I've devoted myself to it, my family, but I also think we need to be looking out for everyone else too and making sure that when we make things, we make them in accordance with the law, in respect to people's civil rights. When we respect the civil rights of people with disabilities, we make them equally accessible for elderly, people with strollers, people that have a hard time walking. The Ghost Walk was fantastic this weekend, except I saw multiple people from out of town tripping all over the place because the sidewalks have difficulties. With these violations here, I think we can do better. I think Farmville can do this. When I talked with Wentz before about Public Works on the corner of Lane and Contenia, he acknowledged the contractor did it wrong. I came before you a few months ago and asked you not to pay the contractor until they fixed it. Riding tonight, it's still not fixed. Every day we see this. Every day we deny people their civil rights. We can do better. And I look forward to hopefully addressing this with you so that we can make sure things are equally accessible, fixed, so everyone can move around safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Town manager's comments.
Thank you. Just had a couple of brief things. I mentioned the town website a few times previously. We are making progress on that. That's the, just refresh your memory, we are updating our website with a grant from Electricities. It's everything 100% paid by Electricities to hire a firm from South Carolina in this case that does these things for a living. And today, Brian and I have been working with them regularly and have given them lots of information for inclusion. They have completed the basic framework and have migrated a lot of information to the new site, and they're in the design development phase at this point. We're getting near the home stretch, looking for having completion sometime around December 1st, and we're working with Woody Spencer actually to get some secure some of his photographs and also to commission him to do some specific photographs for parts of the site for inclusion on the site. So hopefully by the time we meet again, the site will be live and running, and I think you'll see a big difference. The other thing I just wanted to mention, just some dates for events coming up. The Christmas tree lighting is Friday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. Taste of Farmville, Friday, December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Christmas parade is Saturday, December 11th at 10:30 a.m. In the May Museum Christmas tea, I haven't verified this, but if they do it at the normal time, that would be Sunday, December 12th at 4 p.m. And I'm sure there'll be more on that one day once the museum makes that announcement. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for David?
I would like to add one date. On December the 11th, we will also have the second annual light tour. Again, that evening from 6 to 8, like we held last year.
You got that, David?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There, anything else? You have the financial report in front of you. Anybody have any questions on that? Amy, you've done an outstanding job on that. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Anybody got any questions on the financial report? Seeing none, this brings us down to changes, additions, deletions to the agenda. David, you've got, we've got one here about to close the street, but you also have one for the board's consideration for the December meeting. You want to serve that up too?
Yes, sir. The next board meeting is scheduled for December 6th, which is the same night that the Farmville Fire Department has their Christmas party, and I know the board has been interested in attending that event. It's very nice. Talked with Tommy Brady. They are making the final preparations for that now. And talking with the mayor, there was some interest in not moving the date like we have sometimes in the past, to try to stick to the date, but perhaps moving it earlier. meeting perhaps at 5 o'clock instead of 6:30, so that would allow us to have a regular board meeting and then attend the party afterwards. So that's one item that I wanted to add for the agenda. The other item is closing of Main Street and a portion of Main Street and a portion of East and West Wilson Street for the Taste of Farmville event, which is, I just mentioned, is on the 3rd. And that's what material that's in front of you. That's the ordinance that's required by DOT to make that request. And have talked to the police chief, and they're in agreement that that's the best course of action, and hopefully you'll consider that. Of course, the Chamber of Commerce has made that request as well.
I'll ask the board at this time if I can get a motion making item number 6, the changing of December meeting to 5 o'clock on the first Monday, and the Taste of Farmville block of the street be item number 7. I'll combine those. I'll accept a motion.
Make them.
Mr. Hobbs made a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item 6 will be the December meeting, and item 7 will be the Taste of Farmville. Okay, any commissioner have any changes or deletions? Seeing none, is there a motion that we accept the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Elks has made a motion that we accept the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We'll move on to the public hearing. Paul, you've got this. For those that are with us for the first time, Paul Ellis will be the presenter for this items in the agenda. First item is going to be a structure for demolition at 3314 North Pitt Street. Paul Ellis will present this. After that, I'll take comments from the gallery.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. As you said, the property is located at 3314 North Pitt. It's further identified as Pitt County Parcel 03520. I became aware of this property probably 2 years ago. At that time, the owners were living in the house, and I just really didn't do anything. As long as they were living in it, they weren't renting it out. I didn't do anything with it. After they moved out in June or July of this year, I had complaints about it from neighbors, so I went out and took a look at it. I tried to get the owners to meet me out for inspection, and the date that I had set up, they couldn't meet me then, so I just went out and did an inspection from outside, as I do 90% of the time anyway. There is a lot of damage to that house. The property at the back side is collapsing. Actually, literally, the south wall has dropped down about 6 inches, so the seal and it's gone. And I understand that they hadn't been in that kitchen in years. So anyway, bottom line is I did have a hearing on August the 16th with them in my office, and they indicated at that time they were either going to sell the property or tear it down. They hadn't made up their mind. At this time, nothing's been done, so I want to move forward with the demolition process, and at this time, I'm requesting that you give me permission to move forward, which you know would entail putting the condemned sign on the property, and then they would get a letter saying that they have 90 days to either bring it down or bring it to minimum housing code. I don't think either one of them are here tonight, so that's all I got.
Anybody got any questions of Paul? Any questions? Paul, if you just want to stand right there. This is a public hearing. Anyone here wishing to speak on this? Public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will close this public hearing. Board, you've heard Paul Ellis. I'll now open this 3314 North Pitt Street for demolition discussion. Questions or motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we demolish the structure at 3314 North Pitt Street.
Commissioner Dixon has made a motion that we demolish the structure at 3314.
Yeah, it's really not a motion to demolish, it's a motion to move forward with the demolition process.
All right.
They may bring the house to build.
Going to restate that.
I make a motion we begin the demolition process for 3314 North Pitt Street.
Commissioner Dixon has made a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Good luck with that, Paul. And when you finish up this next one, I got a a couple of questions for you. That brings us down to the next agenda item. It is conduct a public hearing on rezoning request and decide on request of parcel 18149 located at West Wilson Street. Paul?
Okay. I'm filling in for Justin Oaks tonight. He's not doing too well. But anyway, this is a request to rezone parcel 18149. It's 2.2 acres of land. You guys may recognize it as the granite curb properties right beside Field Street, and it's bordered on Church Street and Wilson Street. They're requesting that we reduce, right now it's R8 residential zoning district, and they're requesting that it be reduced to a R5, which would require 5,000 square foot lots, where the R8 would require 8,000 square foot lots. The request would allow for development of single-family parcels of similar use or similar size to all of the lots surrounding it. As a matter of fact, the property is bordered on the north on Wilson Street with a lot that is R5. It's bordered on the east with 3 single-family dwellings that are R5, and it's bordered on the west with a lot that is R5, and that's the lot that's directly across the street on Wilson Street. And then on the south, it's bordered. I'm sorry, it's bordered on West Church Street by 3 single-family properties over there. Basically, it's surrounded with R5s on the district. The Planning and Zoning Board reviewed this request at their October meeting and voted to recommend the changes in the zoning from R8 to R5 to you guys. At this time, staff is requesting the property rezone to R5 from R8.
All right. Any questions from the board of Paul?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just get permission from the board to abstain, just to avoid a potential conflict.
Commissioner Dixon has asked permission to be abstained. Is there a motion?
I will make a motion that Commissioner Dixon be allowed to retain from speaking.
Commissioner Elson made a motion that Commissioner Dixon abstain from the vote. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on the property located at, or the parcel 18149 West Wilson Street? Anyone wishing to speak?
Mr. Mayor, I'm Chris Birdie. I'm one of the members of Granite Curb LLC, and I'm just here to answer any questions, should any of you have them. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Good evening. After my wife and I were flooded out on Hurricane Dennis and Floyd, we actually lived right at that corner. I think this would be a fine addition. I voice in support of making this residential. I think it would be a nice way to honor the former Monk warehouse and encourage more people to come to our town and live and prosper. I would, however, request that you do consider at some future date the revising of the revision you made in terms of the speed limit on West Church Street, up to 35 miles an hour. If we make this a residential area and we invite families to come here, I think we owe it an extra level of safety to make sure that cars and motor vehicles and trucks going by pass at a reasonable speed that ensures their safety. But I would support, again, more residential, great people to live here, and I think it's a great location close to our downtown that's once again becoming alive again. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I now declare this public hearing closed. Questions, comments, or motions, board?
Just out of curiosity, I assume you have proposed development in process for the rezoning of this?
We have a contract at present, and the contract envisions more lots than wet construction can be done in RP. But it won't be that many. Compact.
And listen, you're right across the street from that. No more questions.
Anybody else have any questions? Is there a motion or any other questions at this time or comments?
I'll make the motion that we approve the rezoning from R8 to residential R5 on parcel number 18149.
Board, you've heard Commissioner Elks' motion. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Paul, thank you for that. And Board, I want to thank you for doing your homework on this. I want to thank you for the many hours that you put in before we got here tonight. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Chris. That brings us down to items for consent. Board, you've had a chance to review these in your packet. Is there a motion that we accept the items of consent?
I'll make such a motion.
Commissioner Smith has made a motion that we accept the items for consent. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes. Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. That brings us down to items for decision. Reappointment of Tree and Community Appearance Board meeting, Mary Steinbauer. David, you got this?
Yes, sir. Ms. Steinbauer has been on this board for one term, and I've spoken with her, and she is interested in being reappointed. This was one of those appointments that sort of, because of COVID and all, this committee did not meet for a year or so, and so this reappointment was delayed for that reason. So if reappointed, her term would be a 3-year term that ends June 30th of 2024.
Okay, Board, you've heard reappointment of Mary Steinbauer for another term on the Tree and Community Appearance Commission. Any discussion and or motion?
I make a motion to approve the appointment of Mary Steinbauer to the Tree and Community Appearance Committee.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith made a motion that we reappoint Mary Steinbauer. Any comments, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Mary Steinbauer has been reappointed. Item number 6. Basically what this is the board meets on that first Monday. The fire department had normally in the past has had their dinner that night. And what the town manager and I are requesting is that we meet that day at 5 o'clock, giving us time to get here and get to that dinner. That is what item number 6 is about.
I would like to make a motion that we have our December the 6th meeting at 5 p.m. So that we can all attend the fire department Christmas event.
Okay. You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? David, would you make sure that the newspaper, et cetera, has a ample notice of that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 7 is the Taste of Farmville. David, you want to give this to us one more time in a Reader's Digest version?
Yes, sir. This is a request from the Chamber of Commerce to close Main Street between Belcher and Church Street, and also Wilson Street between Joe Phillips Alley and Walnut Street. And that would encompass the businesses that would participate in the Taste of Farmville. They've got carriage rides, they've got several things, and you know, people who visit routinely mill around in the street and cross from side to side Main Street to visit various businesses. So this is what would be required by DOT to get the street closed.
Okay. Anybody got any questions of David?
Have we traditionally closed that part of Wilson Street?
We have not, but we actually were criticized the last time when we didn't do it. And the chief may want to speak, because we were talking about that this morning.
We actually did, I was back with the business in 2019, we did those, I think it was 17 or 18.
If this event holds the course that every other event since, say, June has been going, you can expect a big uptick in the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty common now that what you planned to have chat a couple of years ago, you look for an uptick in it now. So I think it's a good idea. Is there a motion that we do this?
Well, and the reason that we're not going all the way to Catania is because of Piggly Wiggly having access to that, their shopping, the parking lot and all that. So we cut it short there.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we close North Main and Wilson Street down to Joe Phillips Alley.
Okay. Commissioner Smith has made a motion that we close East Wilson Street and West Wilson Street for the event. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. We will close that street, and thank you for that. That brings us down to citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for you to speak or ask any questions about anything you've seen or heard here tonight that you would like more information about. Anybody? Anybody? Seeing none, I'll start on my right and go with Dr. Hobbs as we close. Dr. Hobbs?
Well, again, I just want to thank all the citizens in Farmville for all you do to support this town. And tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is election day. And I want to thank you for allowing me to serve as your commissioner for the last 4 years. And hopefully, if all goes well, I hope you'll come out and vote to allow me to serve another 4 years. So thanks again for all you do to make this the best place to live, work, and play.
Commissioner Dixon?
We're fortunate to have all three of you guys, Commissioner Huss, Commissioner Shackford, and Mayor Moore, served on the board for the last few years, and it's been a privilege to serve with y'all. And I feel like an independent voice in recommending that everybody get out and vote for the three of you guys in the election tomorrow. So you're no doubt you're the best three on the ticket.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Shack?
Thanks.
To be here, thanking this board for the great job we've been able to do through the years and working together and making things happen. And I think we can really feel good about ourselves.
Commissioner Dale?
And-
Oh, sorry. I thought.
Like, again, we would love to have you vote. We just, just love to have you vote. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Dale?
I have multiple things. First of all, we have the best town staff, and I'm thankful for every one of you that go and do your jobs every day and have to deal sometimes with the things you deal with, and it's very appreciated, even during pandemics and normal regular days. Last night, we had a very successful trick-or-treating event in Farmville. The Christian church, I probably had 125 people, children and adults at my house, well, children. The Christian church, Miriam Lewis said today that they had over 700 children there last night. And the Spring of Living Water said, Miss Vanessa said they had over 200 there. So there were a ton of children and parents in town. There were lots of parents. I mean, they really came out this time with their kids and made sure that those kids had a great event. That everybody was happy, smiling, and it was really, really good. And I appreciate everybody that volunteered to have their homes opened up for trick-or-treaters, their businesses, the fire department, police department, and EMS all opened up and passed out items. And the people that came out, because there were people from everywhere. I mean, once again. Also now our busy time is coming up where we will have, of course, well, my two activities will be the Christmas parade as well as the second annual tour of lights that we did last year, which was hugely successful. And we're expecting that again this year where families can get out. And I every time I send out an email about it or post on Facebook, I encourage the families to really participate as a family, because that's what this is all about, is family. And I'm thankful for everybody that participates.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
No, I'd like to echo the sentiments on the election tomorrow. Hope everybody will get out and vote. And also, very much like what Brenda has said, I was not here last night, I was out of town, but I heard it was a great event. And to the police department and everybody that was involved, thank you very much. Congratulations to the guys from the Arts Council on the Ghost Walk. That was a tremendous success. It just shows, back to back, how much we can do and how much is really going on in Farmville. And so it's the staff, it's the people, it's the citizens, and everybody's doing a great job, and it's just great to be here. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm written all over my page tonight. First of all, I want to thank Wes and all the folks, and I've shared with David and the town staff that the number of accolades we're getting for the town being so clean is just beyond anything that in my 70 years in this town I've ever heard. And Good Morning America coming, Spectrum and all that, that's just part of the tremendous press that we've gotten across the state here. A lot of that, I want to thank David for that, for the articles that they're still writing articles about the way we handle the gas thing, so that was a good thing. Paul, I want you to tell me one more time, because I've been flying over this. How many building permits you issued?
Building permits.
19, what was that number?
Actually, after you and I had our conversation this morning, I went back and checked with Justin. We've got 23.
23.
Permits out right now, so.
And that ought to just about put us in first place in this county, hadn't it?
I'm sure.
I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all give Paul and his crew a big hand. Now that's a big thing. That's huge.
Paul, may I say this? I received a phone call last week, and it was from a contractor that goes to people's homes all the time in Farmville, and he said we have the best run permit inspection and permit office ever. And he said, Brenda, I deal with them all the way to Raleigh, and I have never been in Farmville when it was not perfect. And he said, I want you to, I know that they don't get many accolades because they're such a small department and so much going on. He said, but they are, I go everywhere, Washington, Raleigh, and he said, I cannot go anywhere that I get treated and my work is done the way it's supposed to be done.
Appreciate that.
So.
Now, I lost my place, Brenda.
Sorry.
All right, it's okay. First of all, the board. The work that goes in prior to a meeting, I want to thank y'all for the nights, the mornings, and, you know, it just means an awful lot to do the research and do the homework so that we get here. We've ironed out a lot of wrinkles. And that comes to a lot of folks that constantly are meeting with me. And Wes, I don't know exactly who you talked to, Mr. Hardy-Brass, but I'd love for you to tour with me one day and hear the comments I get about the paving and the sidewalks and accessibility and things we've done in Farmville compared to where it was to where we are now. And no, we're not 100% yet. And it would be a pipe dream to even think that we would be. But from where we were to where we are now, it is something for this town to do backflips over. We have come a long way. And I am very proud of where we are. But say that to say this, I appreciate your enthusiasm because you were one of the first ones to bring it to our attention. And we appreciate that a lot. And I think your comments and your energy put fuels not only under us, but under some other people. When we called and asked for things, they managed to get it to us. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here tonight also. And I really appreciate what you do with the biking community. Next thing, Chief, we don't want to leave you out on this ghost walk and this Halloween. Your folks working double, triple overtime, and I thank you for that. It was a great job there. Ghost walk, let me tell you all about ghost walk. I'm not an expert on it, but I've been ghost walking for, Lord knows, a long time. Majority of people, and if I say something wrong, fellas, you fix me on this, majority of people come to ghost walk ain't from Farmville because they know where the ghosts are. They come from out of town. A lot of people come, they don't come once, they come twice. And they'll look for it next year beyond anything you can imagine. And the ghost walk, to me, is just as important as the Taste of Farmville. It is huge, and it'll only get bigger and bigger. And all the volunteers, and I mentioned Greg earlier, the work that fella did to get the media, you know, advised of what we were doing, that was a very big thing. The 150th anniversary, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago, we started talking about that? The 150th anniversary went into Pipeline about 2 years ago, and we narrowed it down with all the suggestions that we had, and we narrowed it down to some very big events. As you heard mentioned earlier, the 150th Gala. That's going to be big. That's going to be a huge bit. It'll be the first black tie event or dress-up event that Farmville's had since 1999. Brenda Elks is already working with Shrine units and folks of that nature. She's already got the funds to fund the parade on February the 12th. The Shriners are going to be here for that. That parade's going to be a big deal. Met with Lori Drake today. Lori's going to be meeting with David and I and Diane with Recreation Department to figure out what's going to be the opening act. What are we going to do for the first Friday in Farmville for the fireworks? And exactly what's that going to look like? I don't know. But there are a lot of suggestions out there of what we'll do because you just don't want to start at 7 or 7:30 with fireworks going off. But there will be some after Christmas sales and things of that for the parade. The day of prayer, this is another big thing. Jeffrey Fields is really on the ball with this. He's got the fans out for keeping the date and saving the date. So that is, that's a huge thing, the day of prayer. And the plaque. The plaque is beginning to move, and if you haven't heard about that, the plaque is a plaque of the state of North Carolina. Little mark where Farmville is, 150 names will go on there. Only 150 names. And it's $150 for 150 names. And all this is important because guess what? That's how we're going to pay for all these events. It is our goal to raise money through the gala, which is going to be a big event, the plaque, huge event, to pay for all the fireworks and everything else. So the taxpayers of Farmville, all they got to do is enjoy this. That's all they got to do. And I want to thank y'all for supporting that. I want to thank you folks for being involved in that. And I really want to thank Michael Cable for chairing that committee because we met, David, we were meeting a lot. We were meeting a lot in the beginning of this, and the auction went well, so that was the first thing that we got off the table. So that will continue to move on. And I spoke with Randy Waters this morning, and based on what you heard too, the tickets for the gala event will be going on sale pretty soon. Another big event Farmville's got, and this is huge. On the 12th of December, the day after the Farmville Parade, the Tim Sutton Trio will be moving out of the Arts Council. Two reasons. One, they're under construction, and the second thing, we are expecting to fill up the Salvation and Praise. On that show is going to be a world-class violinist, and as of today, Ernest Silver was going to be on that show also, and tickets will go on sale next week for that. And Plaza Auto is the big sponsor on that event. So that's where we are. That's the good stuff we got going on in Farmville. In fact, it is so good, I'm ready to go home. Can I get a motion that we go?
Mayor, can I make one comment real before you want to slip in? When Paul made the comment about Justin not doing too well, a couple of you like recoiled like he was on his deathbed. He's got strep throat, so he couldn't talk. That's why Paul had to feel it. So he's fine. He's on antibiotics. So.
My version was a whole lot shorter than his would have been.
Okay, one quick thing. Now, I didn't want to go here, but I'm going to go. The election tomorrow is so important. A big turnout is important because it sends a powerful message to our colleagues in Raleigh and to our representatives in D.C. as we move forward. So, Paul, thank you for everything. David, all you folks participating tonight, thank you. Motion we adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Can we go home? All in favor say aye. Thank y'all for coming tonight.